5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. This is Sunshine coming to you. I'm not doing a mwah, 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 mwah. Yes, I am. But on a real note, tonight, we're bringing the heat. We're bringing real talk from mothers, brothers, sisters, everyone. But right now, we're going to play a video. We don't own the rights to this video, but we feel in order to set our tone and the stage, you must see this video first. Listen to the words and look at the names. Go ahead, Ron.
Make sure y'all mute your phones.
Hello, is there anybody out there? Does anybody still care about you and me? Come on, do you know what's inside me? It's the same as what's inside you. If you open up your eyes, hello, do you think that I'm not worthy? It's exactly what you told me when you dropped me to my knees. I walk alone in this existence. My call is shown to be resistance. I wanted to be the suspicious. Our lips move, but no, they cannot hear us. I've become uncomfortably numb. Hello, as a child I was the fever. I feel the fire when I'm near you. Oh God, can you hear me? Come on, is anybody out there? Does anybody still care about you and me? I walk alone in this existence. My call is shown to be resistance. I wanted to be the suspicious. Our lips move, but no, they cannot hear us. Hear us. I've become uncomfortably numb. I've become uncomfortably numb. Hello, is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? Uncomfortably numb.
Now, we played this, we opening it up this way. Those are just a few that we are aware of. There's many more. Our ancestors, their ancestors, they were someone's sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, aunts, and uncles. What's wrong with you feeling we're a threat because of the color of our skin? Did we do anything to harm you, to make you feel threatened by just showing up? So tonight, we have a panel. You're going to hear from each and every one of us. I'm hosting tonight. So let's start one by one. Everyone introduce yourselves and what you do. Go ahead with our new guest, Malik, and then Cameron, and then the rest of the panel.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys, first off, for allowing me to join you guys' panel. I've watched a couple of you guys' episodes, and I'm very intrigued. I love what you guys are doing. And again, thank you. But just to jump straight to it, I'm Malik Wilson. I'm a TV news reporter in North Dakota. Just using my platform to kind of, motivate others and, spread positivity.
Thank you, Malik, for joining us. Cameron.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Cameron Williams. I'm the owner of Kinley Accounting down in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm here for the same reasons, just to use my platform to help others in terms of entrepreneurship, learning about accounting and taxes, and of course, to talk about those very challenging topics.
CJ.
Going on, world, loyals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. CJ Williams. I am, I guess at this point, with 1/4 of the Speakeasy co-host. I also work for Aviana Healthcare. I am an EBV/telesystem coordinator.
Ron.
It's your boy Ron Lowe. Y'all know what it is. I'm ready to get into these topics.
Ush.
It's Ush, 1/4 of the co-host of the Speakeasy. I co-CEO of the Speakeasy, travel agent. I use my voice here, like Malik said, in North Dakota, as a community advocate, fighting for what's right, as a mentor, pastor, brother, leader, husband, father, and friend. We need change.
And everybody that knows me, my name is Nicole, AKA Sunshine. Tonight, Sunshine's not shining because this is a serious topic that hits home for me. I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a daughter. I'm everything here. And I work for a personal injury attorney that I love so much because they stand with me on this. They back me. We walk the Black Lives Matter march together. We are taking cases regarding this as well. So I'm an advocate. I also defend little babies, innocent loved ones that can't speak for themselves. So tonight, we're speaking for the mothers, we're speaking for the brothers, we're speaking for the sisters, we're speaking for the aunts, we're speaking for the uncles. We're speaking for the injustice. We're speaking against everything that's going on. Enough is enough. America, wake up. So let's go into it, my beautiful brothers. The first topic, the state of America. Let's talk about it. Cameron.
What specifically you want to talk about? It's a lot. It's a ton.
Pick a state. We have a lot of states that have been dealing with innocent deaths.
I'm in Georgia, so I try to pay the most attention to that. I think yesterday I came across a story in Arizona, a guy by the name of Ryan Whitaker, who was unjustly killed by police. So obviously it's going down out there in Phoenix, Arizona. But if you're just talking about America in general, we're so divided. I've never seen it be just so distinctly this side versus this side. Everything is political. It's like nothing is about people anymore or humanity or community. It's always everything is you're on the left, you're a socialist, and it's just crazy to see us be at that point. And I get it, it's an election year, but that's a lot of what I see. It's like we're not focusing on all of the similarities and good things that we all bring to the table, but we're so focused on what political party are you? And it's, to me, it's just crazy.
Malik.
Yeah, kind of like basically what Cameron said. You know, it's a lot of separation going on these days between whites, blacks. You know, some people saying, do Black lives really matter? You know, and on the Black side and people who support the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, we're trying to fight the case of why it does matter. And, you know, I just feel like, you know, just with platforms like this, we just have to continue to press the issue of what we mean behind, you know, Black Lives Matter, and, you know, just not really ignore like the bad people who are trying to, I guess, block it out per se. But, you know, we just have to keep, you know, pushing the issue. We have to.
CJ.
State of America. I kind of almost feel like this is what President 46-1 wanted when he came in 4 years ago. He wanted to make America great again. America has never been great, ever. Not for everybody, just put it that way. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was it Reagan or Nixon that ran with the same slogan of Make America Great Again. And at those times, you know, it was racially divided. So I think he's done exactly what he wanted to do. We are divided. I'm in Atlanta too, Cameron. You know, it's not as bad here. It's always been diverse in Atlanta. I feel like this is like a mecca or utopia. It can be better. But as far as the America itself, America has always been terrible. Always. And to think any other thing other than that is you living in the clouds. Real talk.
Ash.
I guess y'all are taking the nice route. Well, America's screwed. It's the laughing stock of the world. Everybody looks at us and points and laughs and says, you all are idiots. Why? Because we claim to be the best at everything. We claim to be the richest in everything. We claim to have the best policies and the best freedoms. But just like Malcolm X said, if everyone in the country does not have the same human rights, then what do? We're not free. Everybody does not have peace until everybody is free. So when people keep looking at these civil unrest that are going on, it's been going on since slavery itself. All the rebellions on plantations, all the things that happened when we were free and we still could lead the plantations, to the Jim Crow laws, to the 70s, to the 80s, to now, to 2020. Why are we the only country still fighting the same exact battle for freedom? Because we're all not free. And it's not like other countries where they're not free from their own people, meaning, and there are countries where the people oppress their own people. Now we have a melting pot of people, and it's only one that's oppressing everybody. Get rid of this person, get rid of that person, deport this person, put this person down. We're so separated, like Cameron said, we're so divided. And even when we think we've arrived to a certain point, Malik will attest to it. You'll go in the comment section of different news that's put out. Everybody's saying the most hateful, nasty, diabolical, grotesque things that you have ever heard about people. There was even an article out of a Black woman here becoming the first Black woman to do something. And the comments were, why are we talking about her being the first Black woman? Why it just can't be woman? Well, because it's a problem in America that she's the first Black woman to do something. If America truly was free, it would just be people doing things. But if we're being the first in 2020 to do stuff, that tells you how oppressed we are. We're disgusting. And we need to stop acting like we're trying to make it great again when it was never great to begin with. Because if you're founded on ugliness and nastiness and taken away from people, then how can you call yourself great? Disgusting.
Ron?
About 50 years ago or so, Martin Luther King, of course we all know the speech, said, all we want is for y'all to judge us by the contents of our character and not our skin.
Correct.
And we feel like we've come so far here in 2020, but yet we are clearly in need of another reconstruction of America, because that simple request, we just want to be left alone and don't want to be judged by our skin. My main motive, defund the police. Plain and simple. Let's start there. That's where I'm at with it.
I'm with Ush. I'm fed up. I'm sick and tired of having to fear for all three of my children, all three of my African American young sons. A mother's prayer changes when you have sons. We pray over our children. Now we have to worry about praying for them to leave this house and come back safely, to put their pride aside if they get pulled over by the police, just so they can make it home safely, and for us not to bury them in a coffin. My uncle was killed by the police in his own home. Shot up 20 times. You break into someone's home, kick in the door because you have a badge, you think it's okay? In the middle of the night? So where's the justice for our people? Where's the justice for the innocent killing? Why are you always bringing up their criminal record or quote unquote, they had a weapon? Did we see a weapon in that video? I know I didn't.
Nope. Nope.
But anytime it's a white person, and I post the videos on our page to show the injustice that we deal and get dealt with every time. A white person threatens a female police officer saying, I'm going to kill you. She's doing everything in her power not to shoot him. Now close your eyes and think that was a black person. She would have shot real quick. Why is it a white person could come out with a machete? I posted that too. Threaten the officers. They're gonna sting you with the stun gun, but a black person with a knife, not a machete, will be shot 7 to 8 times. So America, you're telling me that we don't have two judicial systems? That's a damn lie. You're telling me that our lives are equal to your white lives? That's a damn lie. So don't sit here and tell me America is great. When you invited that 46-1 into office, before he even made it into office, his behind was causing so much racial discord, and that was when he was running. So don't sit here, America, and say that we are great, because we are far from great. I don't give a damn. We have not had the right to walk these streets. We did not have the right to vote. Our ancestors was killed, walked, slaughtered, and you laugh? We couldn't drink from the same water fountain from you? Oh no, I'm not sugarcoating a damn thing tonight.
Right.
We had to fight to vote. And any African-American person that does not go to the voting this year, don't say a damn thing. Shut up and sit down and go somewhere.
Right.
Who you gonna vote for?
This is the time we are supposed to be unified. This is the time we are supposed to stand and don't back down. Enough is enough. We wasn't asked to be brought here. We wasn't asked to be born here. You take our inventions and claim them for yourself. No, you didn't make that heart pacemaker. No, you didn't make that traffic light. No, you didn't make the peanut butter. No, you didn't make the hot comb. No, you didn't make the airplanes. Let's be real. You stole everything from us. You stole it from the American Indians. You stole it from the African Americans. Everything that's built in the United States was built off of our backs, our ancestors, our sweat and tears.
Where's the lie?
But you want to claim all lives matter. Hell no. All lives don't matter until us Black lives matter.
Right.
Don't come at me and try to talk to me if you're not on my side with this situation right here.
Right.
You're not a friend to me. You a foe.
Preach.
Believe me.
Preach.
Simple fact is, I have a Black Lives Matter in my driveway. A man pulled over and had the audacity to bring 2 flags to my house and asked, could he put it next to the Black Lives Matter? I said, no, you cannot, and get off my property. The nerve, you step on my property, ring my doorbell, and ask me to put flags. We all bleed the same, but you don't look at us that way. So America, are we great? Is this what you wanted with 46 minus 1? I think not. Next topic. Police brutality and excessive force. Who wants to open up on this one?
I mean, I already gave my thoughts. Defund the police, plain and simple. I've been, feeling a certain type of way because when George Floyd died, originally we was all defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. But that got quickly washed away and everybody was just, let's just keep it with Black Lives Matter. That's okay. That's okay. All the organizations, everybody, Black Lives Matter. We're with y'all. But when it comes to doing things financially, economically, impacting us on all levels, that's the first thing we need to knock out. And that's the first thing everybody wanted to stop talking about. So it's clear that we need to bring it back. And shout out to all the sports leagues yesterday shut down for that cause.
I agree with them 100% because, as I said before, we'll say again, there are other areas of expertise that can handle most of these situations the cops are called to, such as we said, psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers, counselors, and all of those can do the exact same thing in most of these situations, de-escalate them to a point where a cop is not needed. Now, if a cop is needed, he can accompany only as a silent bystander, but not as an aggressor. I'm tired of it. All those names we saw at the very beginning, we can't ever forget those names. Those are our fallen brothers and sisters due to the incompetence of the police force and their use of violence over solution, making violence the solution. When will stopping and talking to people and asking questions and not making demands or threats or trying to see what's going on? But most of all, like Trevor Noah said today, when did my Black skin become a threat? Because see, the big problem is they keep saying my Black skin is a threat, but other skin color is not a threat. That they see a young 17-year-old man not as a threat because his skin is white with a gun that you can see, but a Black young man who had the potential to have a knife because he was Black, he was automatically a threat and needed 7 bullets emptied as a clip into his back. Why is my skin color a threat to you? You know what you're afraid of? You're afraid because you brought me over here in chains. You put me in whips. You housed me and you divided me with the Willie Lynch program. That's what you did. And you think for some reason, like Malcolm X said, you should be happy that we're peaceful protesting. You should be excited that the only thing we're doing is just getting together and singing, "We shall overcome." Because if it ever came a day where all of us decided not to anymore, we decided to do what we really could do, you'd be in trouble. You should be blessed that we are forgiving type people. You should be. Because enough is enough. The brutality is enough. The excessive force is enough. If you can't do your job, put your badge on the desk and walk away and go do something that you can be utilized for. Go to WWE. Go somewhere else where you can do some kind of fake wrestling. Do that. Stop wasting your energy trying to keep me in a corral. I'm sick of it. Police brutality. Defund. Put the money somewhere else.
CJ?
I'm about to say, let me jump in. And I was hoping to save this for next segment, but I really can't. I mean, I guess I'll give a little bit, but police shootings per year. You know, we have over 1,000 per year. You understand that, right? Over 1,000 in the United States per year. 1,000 police shootings. You have other countries, which we'll get into later, but they have 6 and 8, 3 major countries. Now, we do have a lot more people than some of those countries, but even when you look at the numbers and percentages, it's awful. And then when you really break it down, so we know that Black people, we catch it the worst, right? We're killed at almost 3 times as much as whites by the police. And the police kill a lot of people. Like, they kill a lot of white people too, which is insane. They kill their own, but they don't care. But they really don't care about us. It's heartbreaking. Last year, right? It was 191, according to the census, 191 million white people, 42 million Black. 370 white people were killed by the police. 235% were killed, 235 Black people were killed by the police. It's like 2.87. If you round up, that's 3 times as many people per capita. It's, if you really can't sit back and understand and see it, you just try not to.
Right.
This country is disgusting. This country is terrible. The things
wait. But as an accountant, right, numbers can tell stories based on how you paint the picture. Because a lot of times I hear people use that as an argument. Well, more white people were killed than Black people. And I think it's always important to give.
But it's percentages, as I'm saying.
Correct. And see, I think that's very important to highlight, because I'm sure we're going to have people of all different.
If you go, I got you. I'm gonna give you this number. If you kept it, the ratio even for white people and Black people, for the 370 white people that were killed, if you kept the percentage correct, there would have only been 45 Black people killed. There were 235 Black people killed.
Right. And see, I want to point that out because I think it's very important to give context to statistics. Because yes, if I'm just looking at it, well, look, 300, 200 something. See, it's not unfair. And I think it's very important that not just us, but everybody always approach this with the mind to try to learn and be open. We're not saying that, nobody that's white ever gets killed. Nobody that's Hispanic or Asian we're not saying only Black people get killed, but we're talking about based on the percentage, as in the total population, and then doing it just like you said. So I want to point that out just because, I'm an accountant, so numbers are my thing. And B, I know we're going to have a ton of people of all different races and nationalities watch this. And I just always want people to be very aware of that, because people will take statistics and will try to skew them to fit any point, versus taking it for just what it is. It's the same thing with accounting. The numbers are what they are. Now, if you want to twist them, skew them, you can do that. We do it for fantasy football all the time. But I just really, 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 really want people to understand the difference and be very clear on what it is he said. He didn't say that white people don't get killed. He didn't say that Black people are the only ones. He's saying based on the percentages, it is what it is. Continue.
No, go ahead, continue.
I was about to say, man, now you were good, man. You took it. You took it where I wanted to go with it. Go ahead, Cam.
Cam, continue. Now,
I don't have. I'm just listening.
Those numbers speak.
No.
But what I was saying was just that America is tough for everyone. But for us to only make up a certain percentage of the population, and to see how many of our people are being exterminated, and I'm going to use that word because it is rightfully so. Because at this point, it is what it is. You shoot me in the back 7 times.
We're being assassinated.
Yeah, we've been assassinated, exterminated. So it just is what it is.
Well, and that's not even getting into the whole prison thing, because it's the exact same thing.
Right. Go ahead.
But that's why I'm just saying, because I try my best to have these conversations with people who are not just Black. I'm talking about Puerto Rican people, white people, other Black people, etc. And I really try to be as diverse as I can. And I just always find it weird how if they bring that up, and I'm like, well, true, it is more Black people in prison, but you understand that I think we're like 13% of the U.S.
Yeah.
So if it's more of us in prison, but it's only 13%, what would that kind of make you lean towards? It's not that just, oh, well, Black people are just that much more angry.
Nope.
We can't be that much more angry. It's not enough of us to be
Right.
that much more angry by definition of statistics.
Right.
So I'm only pointing this out. I'm trying to keep all emotion out to just understand that guys are African American people. Understand facts when you're in these arguments, if you're not just preserving your peace. And to our white brothers and sisters, when you hear people use these arguments, understand that they're really just trying to divert from the core truth. If we're only 13% and we make up, I know it's over 50% of the prison population, that would insinuate that, hey, how is it that are they that much more dangerous? No, that's just like with these weed laws. And mind you, I don't smoke, right? So I don't have no skin in the game. But how all of a sudden, well, hey, it can be taxed. They can grow it and make all this money off of it.
Right.
But we can't go back and review some of these cases of people who had little charges. Because that's why a lot of them are in there. Because don't forget, 92, Clinton and Mr. Biden. Hey, mass incarceration is the thing. And my brother told me it's all about context. At that time, you had to be tough on crime. So I get it.
So
but hey, we've progressed. We've moved forward. But then we also need to progress and look back and say, was that maybe we can review this one. Maybe it's not all that. But I digress.
Malik?
Hey, listen, I'm just listening in. You guys are killing it. Listen, keep on going. Keep going.
Oh, you don't want to
answer? No, you gotta speak now, bro.
Now it's your turn.
But yeah, to kind of flip it back to the police brutality part, the main subject of the topic of what you mentioned. I think it's a real thing. And I can't remember who mentioned it earlier, but I feel like it's one of those things where, people try to push it under the rug and act like it's not happening. And when it does happen, it's like, why are y'all speaking out about it? Like the kid who got killed, who got shot in the head in North Carolina. A lot of people were saying, oh, why are you guys not putting that on the news? Why are you guys not publicizing this? And it's one of those situations where, yes, that situation is bad. What happened was bad, but his killer is in jail. His killer got convicted right then and there. When you look at these police brutality situations, the police are either getting on leave or they're taking forever to come up with the decision on whether or not it was a messed up situation or were they doing their job or whatever. And so, yeah, police brutality is a real thing. And it like I said with the last topic, it's something we got to keep pressing. We got to keep pressing it. And
I want to jump in on that one because that was crazy. And I understand, because mind you, I have two girls, a 5 and a 3-year-old, right? So I get it. It's terrible. Shouldn't have happened. Point blank, period, end of story.
And we're not taking away from that.
Right. And every Black person that I know said that. And every Black person I know also said just what you said, the difference. Why is it not going to, because that was the question I said, well, why is it not going to go viral? Why are they not going to cover it? Because it's already taken care of. In 24 hours or less, the guy was found and in jail, period. Versus what we're talking about, the reason it goes viral, is not because the news covers it. It's because we share it so much and talk about it so much on social media that you can't ignore it anymore. One. And then two, Breonna Taylor, nothing gets done. Yep. Nobody says anything. It gets swept under the rug.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, because I have a cop buddy. He gives me all what they were trained. I get it. It's social media. Something can happen right now and be viral by the morning. So yes, you do have to let more and more facts come out. I agree with that. But at the same time, based on the past, based on history, slavery, Jim Crow, it's like, well, how do we know they didn't plant this knife? How do we know they didn't plant a weapon? How do we know it didn't modify the report? They don't have a camera. And then that's the distrust that you start to see, and it just goes on and on. We want to trust the police. Nobody's saying we just can't stand them. We want to trust them.
How can you? I'll say this: the police started off as the slave patrol. Slave patrol is the basis of police officers. Like that's what they caught runaway slaves. That's what
you going back? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what the police were. They still keep the same badge to this day. The badge looks exactly the same. Of course, it looks like a 2020 version, but it's still the same badge. They're still the same people. They're doing what they always done. They go find black people and they lock them up and they torment them and they brutalize them. It's like terrorists, bro. I mean, but that they're just doing what they always doing. And then people say, well, they're good cops and they're bad cops. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But the good ones that really speak out, they end up losing their jobs, bro. Like that, the basis, the police, it's terrible. It's terrible here. These are the people that's supposed to protect and serve, but we see that they only choose to protect and serve. Like we can watch videos of a white man coming out of his house with a machete, wielding it at the police, and he walk away without a scratch. You can watch a white man walk into a church, sit down and have Bible study with 9 black people, and then shoot them up and walk away. And matter of fact, they'll take him to go get Burger King. You know what I'm saying? You can go into a black woman's house when she sleep and spray her. And matter of fact, she don't die. You wait for 21 minutes before you even touch her body. That's
Malik, you was going to say something. What was you going to say?
Yeah, and so it was, somebody mentioned this earlier about you know, I can't remember what the subject was, but anyway, as far as police officers, whether you fear black people or not, if you're a police officer, your job is to protect and serve.
Right.
They say they have all of these requirements of training and you know, protocols that we're supposed to go after, but it's like, if every time you see a black person and you squeeze the trigger saying that, oh, they had a knife, or oh, he came charging at me, that just means, like, to me as a police officer, you should not be quick to pull the trigger. You're a police officer because you're the big bad guy. You're supposed to be, you know, have that brave mentality, like, I need to do everything I can to resort this situation without making it worse.
De-escalate.
Yeah, de-escalate the situation. And a lot of these police officers use, and I won't even say just police, it's other people that are supporting the situation of what happens.
Vigilantes.
Yeah, like they support the situation, but I'm like, your role is to simply de-escalate the situation. Don't be a cop if you can't do that.
Can we go back to what Malik is saying right there? Like, can we stay right there for a second? Like, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but de-escalate is a big deal. I think we've gotten to a place society where so much with social media and so much with movies, we like to see an escalated situation because it's the thrill and the thrill seeking and the promise of maybe somebody's going to get killed or shot or whatever. We actually like to see that. So it's like de-escalation has went out the window. Like, what do firefighters do? De-escalate situation by putting water on the fire. We don't have songs saying F the fireman. We don't have that. What do social workers try to come in and do? They try to de-escalate situation by trying to see what's going on with the kids, how we can figure out how to de-escalate situation so the kids can stay in a safe environment. They're not out there trying to pull people apart. I like what you said about de-escalate, because that is what a cop is supposed to do. De-escalate. Sometimes force is needed to de-escalate. Sometimes the end result may be a gunshot, but you don't go in there guns blazing. This is not the Wild Wild West. We are in to de-escalate. The Wild Wild West was to kill everybody because they were killing people for gold, land, whatever. This is not the Wild Wild West. De-escalate.
They're taught to shoot to kill, not shoot to wound. And that
right.
And I'm like, another thing to mention that. Somebody mentioned the other day, they were like, why didn't you just shoot the guy in the leg instead of shooting him in his back?
Exactly.
And I'm like, y'all do all of this gun training, shooting targets. Right. You know, you have to be A1 with your gun. pulling it off your hip, everything. So why is your first thing to just go willy-nilly and start shooting him in his back? Shoot him
At the answer,
while
bro,
holding his shirt. He was holding his shirt. Make sure you move.
Shoot.
Oh, I want you to stay still while I give you this.
Yeah,
I got you. I got your
do?
answer. This is what the cop friend said. This is what he said. When we train, we're taught to shoot for center mass because that's the biggest area. So that's point one. He said also when your adrenaline is up, he said they do plenty of tests where they're all amped up. Your accuracy is off by like 60 or 7%. So that little leg, you just went from this to, I guess, doing all of that.
I don't want to cut you off on that. But again, if you are an officer, your adrenaline could, yes, as a human, you have adrenaline, but you signed up to be an officer.
You have to take your ass.
That adrenaline.
There's something called selective adrenaline because adrenaline ain't that high when it's somebody that ain't black. All right,
but if you saw that video, he was already amped up because he was following him and he was on him like
white on rice.
I'm not saying, wait. I'm not defending. I'm telling you, this is what the cop, mind you. This is what he's saying. They're
right
trained
up.
like.
We're gonna eat that up.
Because let me tell you something. I have police officers in my family. I have Marines in my family. I have Navy SEALs in my family. I have every level in my family. The simple fact is, they are and will always, my family members are not trying to kill another African American. They're trying to wound you just to get the situation. First, they like to try to de-escalate. And I've seen other police officers do that. But I've seen a whole lot worse police officers do the opposite. The simple fact is, you can go ahead and do something, get suspended, or relocated to a different facility, police department, and your record is not even talked about. The innocent killings not even talked about.
Fraternity.
I read something. Hold on now. I read something that said, who was it? It was he said, why don't you start putting insurance on the police officer and make them lose it that way?
Right.
We never hear about their pension being taken. We never hear of them being fired. We never hear about them suspension without pay. We never hear that. And let's talk about, since we're talking about the jail systems, we have a lot of innocent African Americans in jail to this day, serving free time and free community services for the states. And then when they do get let out after 30 years of finally fighting these cases and fighting these cases and fighting these cases, oh, the DNA never matched. But it's a open and shut case for, and I'm a mother, for that Caucasian little boy that was shot, like Ursh said, 24 hours, man, tried and convicted and in jail.
Already in there.
They
hezzy with it too.
Look,
right, bro.
You see how quick I could wipe my hands? You see how quick I could wipe my hands? But it took them almost 20 years to find out who killed Jam Master Jay. It took them not even who killed Emmett Tillman, not even who really killed Martin Luther King, not even. We got the cover-ups. So yes, I'm in agreement with defunding the police, because what have you done for the African American community but brought more heartache, more pain, more funerals are getting a lot of money. We have to do GoFunds for some family members because they don't have the collateral. And
I like that consequence thing you said though. And I think that's huge. Like I asked my wife this yesterday and she told me, because she used to work in like mental health facilities, and she said, Cam, do you not understand that the consequence for us is so high? She said, you know, if these, because she used to work with girls, of course, because she's a lady. She's like, hey, we could not fight them at all. You could put them in a hole, you know, like a bear hug kinda, or kinda jack their shoulder up. They was like, that's it, because they have cameras everywhere. She said, if you fight them, because you know, you get mad, you done got spit on, cussed out. She said, you will lose your license. You will no longer be able to work with kids in any capacity. and you can still go to jail. And I'm like,
Right.
but even if they fight you, they swung on you. She was like, it don't matter because it's about protecting the patient.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, so you telling me the social workers got more consequences? Like,
Yes. And it should be the other way around. Let's talk about the excessive force.
Mm.
You won't do excessive force on that Caucasian who sat in that church and killed and left one witness. He walked out, no blood drawn, no black and blue faces, nothing. He walked out protected with a vest. But the man that had a blinker, who was African American, his blinker was out, got pulled over and lost his life in front of his girlfriend and her daughter. Took his last breath in the car. But let's talk about that. I felt threatened. How did you feel threatened? Okay, we put our hands on the steering wheel. We have to do the excessiveness to let them know we're not a threat. Our hands is on the dashboard. But then you tell me to go reach for my license. Why are you, that video of this African-American boy, gentleman, the officer, the state trooper, Caucasian, looked right into his cell phone and said, yeah.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Went in, took the seatbelt off, jerking him out.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. So that's not excessive? I think it is. But to them, oh, the officer was doing his job, quote unquote.
hey, here you go, cop friend. So they don't consider it excessive.
Right.
They consider it escalating, right? Their rule is, I'm telling you, I'll be learning a lot.
No, you're right. I've heard this before. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And so they say, okay, you have to always escalate one step above wherever the person is, right? So if they're arguing, you say, shut up. Okay, they keep going. You getting louder. Okay, if you don't shut up, I'm going to make you shut up, which is what we would see, like the slam on the car, all of that. Oh, they look aggressive. Well, I have to maintain control of this situation at all times, not just for me, but for the other people around or in the area. So basically, if, like in the case we were talking about, if he got a knife, I got to go a step above a knife. What is that? Okay, taser. Taser not working. What's next above that? So their thing is always, we have
taser.
Hold on, let him finish. I want, because I got something to say. I want to say right after.
Well, I'm just telling you, this is what he said. This is how they're trained.
Yep.
So really, we're talking about training, which to me is the issue. They're trained that, hey, whatever the step is, I got to go one above that to bring you down to where I now have control over the whole entire situation and you're compliant. That's what they say.
I was just getting ready to say to go back, and everybody I think has said it at one point so far, but to go back to what my dog Ron said, defund the police. Like, just to hear you mentioned 2 times, right, where you have an officer friend who has told you this is what we're trained to do, or this is what we do in that situation, and all of it sounds messed up. Like,
what color is your officer friend?
He is a Caucasian male, father of 3.
Okay.
And mind you,
how many?
like we have that relationship to where I'm like, tell me for real, like, don't pull no punches.
No,
and he was like,
I have plenty. Like I said, I have plenty police officer friends. I have plenty Army. I have plenty of everyone, every career path. So I want everyone to tell me, do you want to defund the police? Are you in support of that? I say yes.
I am.
Why don't you, for the people who are not or new to this, let's define what defund the police means. Because some people are going to say, well, oh, you just don't want any police.
right.
We've been talking about defunding for a while. They should know what it is by now, but go ahead.
No, you got to break it down. Because remember, I hit the share button, so I know some people
are going to.
So let's be fair. What does defunding the police mean?
What the defunding police means for the Caucasians to understand what we are talking about. Go ahead, Karen. Go ahead, Karen. Tell them what the defunding is.
Tell people what it means.
No, Usher, you tell
I'll
them.
No,
I'll jump in.
it's not getting rid of the police force, but what it is giving less money into them and reallocating the funds to other venues that can de-escalate or to go into. That's why I mentioned social workers, psychiatrists. I mentioned all those other programs. All this money we give into the police can go to, which means you at the end term need less police, and you have more other programs that are a better support for the people, if this is about the people, than the police. So we're not firing anybody. What we're saying is, let's say you have police officers that work 12-hour shifts. I don't need you to work 12-hour shifts. Let's cut you down to 6. And that 6 hours worth of money that I gave to you, I'm going to send over to other programs that they can take over where you can. That's what that means. You're not getting rid of them, you're reallocating funds.
I also say that if they are involved in an unjustified shooting, their pensions need to be taken, they should be fired, and they should not be rehired as security or anything else, and should not be able to carry a gun, period. My thing is, enough is enough. They should not feel that they should be able to get away with it. And many officers have gotten away with murder, unjustified killings. They are murderers. But the jury that they get do not find them, or case dismissed, things start missing. It needs to be an outside source investigating that have no connection at all. So that way it's fair and right trial. Because when you have other police officers doing investigations on another police officer, they cover from that blue wall. And then if one speaks out, there was a case recently, and his partner spoke out against him, and he was able to be sent to jail. He was not afraid to go toe to toe against the other police officers. Enough is enough. I say defund the police. Malik, what do you say? Yes or no? Defund the police, yes or no?
Yeah. And the way Ernest explained it, yes, definitely.
Okay. CJ, yes or no?
I'm all for defunding the police. The police need to go. Not all the way, but it needs to be some reform.
Cameron, yes or no?
Yeah, so we're using Ernest's definition. I could go with that.
Okay. Ernest?
And I say yes, and I'm going to say yes with a asterisk mark there, because Malik and I live in a place where they don't need to be defunded. So unfortunately, I have to be honest with you. This is going to have to be a case-by-case PD. We both live in Minot. There is not an issue with the PD in Minot at all. I'm not saying that.
Of course it's not, because you live in a affluent.
There's no black people there.
There's no black people there.
So what did I just say? So I just said it needs to be case by case, because if there's no black people here, and then there's no reason to defund the police here.
But the thing is, though, that should, I mean, being that if me and Ernest were the only 2 black people in Minot, out of all the million other white people that live here, I've been in an encounter with the police here multiple times, and not because of my job. I've been pulled over. I drive a sports car. I'm always speeding, and I've never had a problem with them at all.
Nope.
Oh, I get pulled over a lot lately.
They're different here. Talk about them, Lee.
So now what you're saying is defund them in mainly urban areas. That's what it sounds like you're modifying your statement to.
No, can I jump in?
Oh boy, come on.
I feel like we all are missing it a little bit. Because when we talk about defunding the police, it's reallocating all that money and all the funds that we put into the training, the weapons, all the things that we really don't need. And it's pretty clear. All that money, what that's going to do, that will come after. We don't even need to get into that right now. But to take it back, let's go back to like 70s, 80s, when we created the war on drugs. Everybody knows about the crack epidemic that happened in our community.
We didn't create that. Remember,
we took the funds from around the country in different things that we needed. For instance, education from our school to support the war on drugs, which is not real, which was something was put in our community. We was set up, bamboozled. Okay, we got that out the way. Once we go from there, we have to establish that the police corps, whether we're in an urban area, no matter where we're at, it's a police union. They are good. They are together. They are.
Not all of them are unions. If you are, I have to disagree with you.
You're a good cop, you're a bad cop, you're a part of the union. They're there to protect each other. That's what we have to come back. The funds that we put into that and the union that they have. Now, the violence towards us, no matter what we do, will not be stopped. They still hang us around the country today. What will help the violence we talked about a little bit earlier is when it comes to their liabilities, when it comes to their insurance plan, when it comes to their pockets. You have to say, is killing this black person more than risking all the insurance for your family for the rest of their life? I doubt it.
Hit them in the pockets, because you know what? That's the only thing the white people look at. Hit them in the pockets. 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 And then we'll see something.
Can we go back to what Malik was saying? Because I like what he was saying about the with us being black here in Minot and not a lot of us being here, and the people here being different. Because I understand what Ron is saying too, which is a really big deal, because he talked about allocating the funds from education to this war. We got to remember where these wars happen. They doggone sure didn't happen in North Dakota. And I'm not putting North Dakota up on this pedestal, but I'm saying, that's why I'm saying case by case, because you got to look at the demographic of where it's going on, which unfortunately happens to be mostly urban areas.
Yes.
Because we don't need them in those urban areas like they are. And CJ said this before. CJ said that they live in the suburbans and then they come to the urbans to man somewhere they don't even live. So we got to look at where. We can't just say everywhere. Because when I get to our next question, it's going to prove it don't need to be everywhere. It just does.
My only thoughts is whatever laws are about to get passed to appease us and get us to calm down and go back to sleep a little bit, it's going to be wiggle room. It's going to be different ways for us to get set up. Once again, we could talk about any system we get. So when we putting in little wiggle rooms like urban area, it has to be like this way here. It has to be complete legislation reform across
That's not
America.
going to happen, no. That ain't happening. They're not going to pass legislation.
We don't need to go back to playing these basketball games.
Cam and still get off on it. I say defund fully and completely. So next topic. What do other countries do for police force that works?
And this is about to be the same conversation because we already talked about it when we gave those stats on the gun violence that we're seeing in other countries. I mean, most other countries don't even allow weapons.
Yeah, I've seen New England. They have the stick and the stun gun. I've never seen them with anything else.
So
I think I have been pulled. I was in the military. I think I've been pulled over by the police in probably 4, maybe 5 different countries. I'm telling you, it's no fear when this kind-looking Japanese man is walking up to you with his cell phone, no weapons out, just making sure you're okay and telling you to stop driving so fast.
Yeah, the UK one. So I have some buddies over there, and I literally asked them for this.
Go ahead, bro.
And I said, like, what are the relations like with the community, different races, policies, consequences? He said, very little in the way of police brutality. Can't remember the last time they shot anyone in this country that wasn't a terrorist. They do tend to stop and search and do traffic stops on more Black people than white, but mainly in urban areas where there are gang problems.
I have a friend over in England. We met when we were in Barbados when I turned 40. And I keep in touch with them. They was like, for what we see over in the United States, what the hell is going on? She says, we don't have killings over here. If they pull over, they don't pull over just African-American. They pull over anybody that's wrong, but they survive. They are able to survive.
They said that too.
They survive. They don't deal with what we deal with over in the United States. And number 46 minus 5 is a laughing joke overseas. They was like, who voted him in? I said it wasn't us.
Yeah, they told me they think it's like Call of Duty or like Grand Theft Auto over here, and I was like,
right,
what?
Well,
it was like, bro, the news, the what we see, it was like it. I'm like, no, it's not like that. It was like, we just telling you what it looked like, Cam.
Really feel like moving out of the United States. I'm serious. I fear for my son's lives. I want to move out of Buffalo, and I'm like, oh, I can't go to Atlanta because they're killing there too. They're lynching them in Texas. They're lynching them in California. Like, where can we move in the United States and feel safe?
This is the new Egypt. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Let my people go, and America ain't letting us go without a fight. I don't care how much that's why they won't pay us our reparations.
It's
they
more
know we'll get up out of here or make our own, get our own things. But they're not gonna really let us go at the end of the day.
Oh, sorry. Y'all go ahead. Sorry.
But what I was gonna say was, as far as like other countries, I mean, you have fatal shootings per year. New Zealand, 1.
Yep.
The UK, 3.
Yep.
Sweden, 6. Australia, 8. And Germany, 11. Bro,
come on, numbers.
We got over 1,000. Those are other countries per year. Shootings. Listen, I didn't say killings. I just said shootings. Just shootings.
They're gonna say that they're so much more smaller than the United States.
I got that.
So that's not fair.
Right. I know somebody. I know he's gonna say new number, bro. We got over 1,000 plus. Like,
can I answer that real quick? Let me answer that. So, I studied on purpose India. You know, America has 327 million people. India has 1,380,000,000 people, and they had 125.
We got over 1,000.
We only have 327 million. They have 1,380,000,000. We have over 1,125. They only had 125.
So when you say this is not the Wild Wild West, no, this is the Wild Wild West.
And let me add to that too. The reason they are so low goes back to what Nicole is saying and to what CJ said. I went through their whole training of their police force. Batons and sticks. Yeah. The weapons are left at the actual precinct. You don't go get a weapon unless it's a national security of something about to go down. Weapons stay there. And then the head elite carry a weapon, which are very few far in between in each precinct. Sticks. Basically the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, sticks and stones will break your bones, but you ain't got to worry about no gun killing you. That's what they believe in. Yeah. Sticks and stones. If America, y'all probably don't want to hear this, I'm going to say it anyway. Because the problem with, and I always had an iffy thing with gun control anyway, but if we had no guns, you never heard about anybody getting a mass stabbing of about 600 people getting stabbed massively because they just lined up and waited for somebody to stab them on down the line. But you hear about mass gun shootings being this way. So what they believe in is they have so many people, they realize we cannot put a gun in somebody that's a cop's hands because he's more likely to hurt more people than help more people in a de-escalating situation because they have so many people in that country. America, we have so many people in this country. A gun would hurt more people than help people. So you take it out of their hands and put sticks and insurance, and all of a sudden, the place you thought had the most crime won't really have the most crime.
Hey, listen, hold on, I want to give you listen. Lucretia, I just saw this post. Lucretia said something about Rodney King. Rodney King got beat. I mean, they beat this man senseless with the batons. I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, it's deeper. It's a deeper problem because I feel like if you give them tasers, they're going to overuse them. If you give them the batons, we're going to be the first ones cracked over the head. I mean, when you really get into defunding, man, it's like it goes deeper.
But we live though.
Yeah, but I mean, but my guy just lived, but he paralyzed from the waist down.
I'm saying he was shot. I don't want to give an officer a gun. You think more likely if I'm here and you got a stick, I'm probably gonna survive.
But I'm not arguing with that. I would rather than have to stick to the gun.
I need to be alive.
I personally don't think that it's gonna change because you remember they used to chase us with the whip, my brother. I don't think nothing.
I agree with that, but I'm not trying to say change. I'm trying to say, look, I need to take the gun out your hand first so that my brother or sister can get a little bit more survival. Now I gotta finish this. I need survival first, and then we'll figure out the rest of it. But I gotta take that gun out your hand because you are dangerous with that gun. And I'm trying to get America to see police are dangerous with that gun in their hands when it comes to us. Give them a stick and we'll figure out the rest. That's what India did. Let's start somewhere where I can be safe, where Nicole's sons can be safe, where CJ's sons can be safe. Let's start somewhere where Cameron's children and Ron's children can be safe. Get that gun out their hand. Because that's the one that's the trigger. That's their point. That's their adrenaline rush. You can adrenaline all you want to with a stick, but at least I'm gonna survive. We're gonna have a good fight between each other. But with a gun, I'm zero.
What about
every time?
The dude in the car ahead of me in the back.
What country? What's your take?
I'm the same way as Ernest. I feel like we're going back and forth, but honestly, get rid of the guns. But my thing is, you say get rid of the guns, but how does that really work on the grand scheme of things? I mean, you could say guns are illegal. Weed is illegal, but people still smoke it.
Yep.
Someone can still have a gun. I mean, how do you just massively get rid of guns as a whole? I mean, that's just my thought on it. But as far as just everything altogether, I wish we didn't have guns in general. I mean, you don't hear about a mass murdering from knives or from sticks or something like that. So that's my take on that.
Okay. Do you know your health and medical history? Do you?
I was a little confused on that question. So do you mean like, am I healthy?
No. Do you know? Okay, let me break it down. Do you know what blood type you are?
Oh,
do you know what runs in your family history? Who has diabetes? Who has cancer or traces of? Or who is sickle cell trace? Or who do you know who has the high cholesterol on your father's side, your mother's side? Do you know your history?
Yeah, it's certain things that I do know because some things have affected me, but there's definitely a lot that I don't know.
Okay, well, here's the thing. A lot of African American sisters and males have a lot of health issues that the Caucasians cannot even understand. That's why I was asking, do we know any African American doctors? Because I'm going to set up a panel for that so we could really go deeper. But I know my blood type. I'm a universal donor. I know what type of needles that take better contact with my veins. I have small veins, so I need a butterfly needle or they're going to bust my vein. I know that my mother has high cholesterol, no diabetes in my family, but my youngest son has the trait of sickle cell. So I have to make sure whoever he dates does not have a trait in their family, because then that child, if they do get together and have a child, will have full-blown sickle cell. I know my health history. I know that because like I say, knowledge is power. You need to know because people won't know if you don't know. Conversations need to be told. Is there traces of cancer? Did my mother have cancer? Did her grandmother have cancer? Is it hereditary? When it's a certain age, African-American men need to be looked at their liver, colon cancer. Women should always go for breast screenings. The simple fact is we should be seeing our doctor once a year, having a full blood panel drawn from our doctor so they could check our kidney function, so they could check if we're borderline diabetic and how to protect yourself so you don't get diabetes. We as African American have a high rate of high cholesterol because of what we take.
Yep.
We get diabetes because of the sugar you want to throw in. You want to throw salt on everything before you even taste it. So African Americans need to, oh please, I fight with my, African Americans should be getting a yearly checkup with your primary, with your gynecologist, for the females. The simple fact is, if you get every year, you will be able to get checked. What if you get cancer? You're at the early stage. They caught it. They could get it. So it's serious. CJ, do you know your health history?
No, I do not. I'm just be honest with you. I don't really trust doctors. I don't trust, like, if something's wrong with me, I'll just fight it out at home. Like I'm not the one who's going to go to the doctor. That's just who I am. I understand. I do know the history. High blood pressure runs in my family. High cholesterol runs in the family. Diabetes runs in my family. But what else runs in my family is our diet. The way we eat runs in my family as well. So I do things a little different in my family. Like I only eat vegetables. I eat vegetables 5 to 6 days a week. Nothing else, fruits and veggies. And then I eat, my meat. One day I'll have my cheat day or whatnot. So I do a lot of things. I work out. Like I take care of my body. I do a lot of things that I didn't see my family doing when I grew up, and I'm not going to end up like my family. So that's one thing. Another thing is that when you go to doctors, you don't know if they're giving you a placebo or not. Like you can look this up. They give you placebos about half the rate that they actually give you regular medicine. Your mind can heal anything. Your mind literally, because that's how a placebo works. It's a pill they give you. It's a sugar pill. And you miraculously, they have tests where they had people go, they thought they were getting knee surgeries. They opened up your knee, do absolutely nothing to it, close it back up, and you think you had knee surgery, and people were actually healing. They were healing at a faster rate than the people who actually got knee surgery. Like this is stuff you can look up. The human mind is so strong. So yes, I do think it's important for you to know your past and your history, to know if your family does have high blood pressure, because then you maybe shouldn't eat the stuff that they ate. Your family have high cholesterol, like different things like that. Now sickle cell, I can't speak on, I don't know, but as far as like diabetes, high cholesterol, things like that, yeah, it's just about the diet. But me personally, like I say, what's my dude, Dr. Oz. Everybody and their mama know who Dr. Oz is, but then we got like Dr. Sebi, who was like, I can cure cancer just by your diet, but nobody want to listen to him.
Here's the thing, your diet, it starts with you, your household. Change it. If you know diabetes running your family and you don't want your kids to get it, the time is now to change it. Yes, CJ, you should get a yearly checkup.
But why would I get a yearly checkup though? I don't agree with
yearly
that.
checkup.
If nothing is wrong with me, I'm not going to the doctor. I'm just about to be honest.
Okay, CJ, go ahead.
I created this question for me and for you. That's why I created this question. Because I was hard-headed.
I told you this because I said that's why I'm looking.
No. But see, Nicole, you didn't know it. I already had it on. When you said it, it verified me adding it. So you get credit, yes, but I already had that created because of me and CJ, to believe it or not. That's the reason I did it. Here's why. And we're going to definitely come to Cameron, Malik, and Ron. Real talk. Because I'm hard-headed, just like you.
Yeah, you're
right.
right.
I went to the doctor a few weeks ago. They started asking me questions because I was just getting my teeth done. And they started asking me questions I didn't know the answer to. And I didn't know certain things you'd get done with your teeth. You can't get done if your health isn't a certain way. I didn't know that. You need to take care of your teeth. I didn't know that because I was so out of sync, out of mind with taking care of, I'm trying to take care of my body, but thinking that, it's just teeth. There's certain things I can't do with my eyes that if your health is a certain way, you can't do. So my wife's been pushing me for the longest, yearly checkup, which I just got. And I'm going again this year to get one.
Did you get because blood panel?
Here's the thing. They didn't give me no medicine, no placebos or nothing. It's just a simple fact of I need to know where I stand. So if there's something I need to change, I can live longer. Because I've heard of too many people that I know that African American have great diets, but still were diagnosed with some kind of cancer because they had a certain cell in their body that evolved. And they had no idea because they didn't get checkups. They just had a great diet. But our body is different.
For doctors who don't even know they sick.
But let me
This is not a time of conspiracy, CJ. This is a time to us as black men, especially, to try to live longer. This ain't conspiracy time. We got to live longer.
But what I'm saying is, if you ate,
I'll talk to your wife.
Even if work out like you're supposed to, I don't have to go to the doctor. I don't eat swine. I don't eat pork. Like I don't eat like you eat. My lifestyle not like I don't have to.
You don't know what's in your body that you already eat.
But I know my body better than you. You can go tell a doctor. A doctor would diagnose somebody with cancer when they don't have cancer.
Look at Ron.
Doctors are right. Doctors don't be right every time. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're wrong every time, but what would I need to check up for? Like, why would I go to the doctor if I'm not sick? If I'm not feeling sick, what point does that make?
CJ, if a doctor tells
a woman different, but a man
you
would
always get a second opinion. You never take the first opinion. You always get a second opinion. But here's the simple fact: when you go for a yearly checkup,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what they tell you.
Shut up.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
it. You're not gonna convince CJ. Y'all know he hard-headed.
A woman can go to the doctor once a year, whatever they want to do. You don't gotta go to the doctor every year.
I'm not even talking to you no more, CJ, because I'm about to tell
you. Got to mute me.
So the African American males and females always get a yearly checkup, get your blood drawn, and ask them for a full workup panel. The full workup panel will let them look and see if there's any cells there that should not be, and then they will do a further test and further test your blood. The simple fact is, a yearly checkup can save your life, because when you go without a checkup, you may have cancer in your system. You may have something else operating that should not be in there. And you will never know and never be able to be cured if you don't get a yearly checkup.
So medicines from pharmacies kill more people than crack cocaine. Medicine coming from pharmacies kill more people than crack cocaine.
Because he's going to go made up. Don't get everybody else. Get up.
Medicine from pharmacies kill more people than anybody. I mean, than any drug. From the pharmacy.
Ron, mute him. Then for the dentist, I understand with the dentist because I had a heart murmur.
Right.
Growing up, I had to take penicillin before they could even touch me.
Right.
So if you don't know your health and you go in there and say you didn't know that you couldn't stop bleeding if they pull your tooth or something that had to be affected, now you're being rushed to the emergency room. Now you're critical and things to that nature. So your body works together. So you need to know what is going on with your health, what is going on in your family's health. You need to know the history to save your life or your child's life. It is imperative to get checked out. Do you know how many African American males have colon cancer because they don't get checked out?
No, they have colon cancer because of what they eat.
Oh my God!
Nicole, move on to the other two people. You're not talking about let's be real. Let's be real. You know this. Nicole, you know this.
Cameron, do you know your health? Do you know your health history?
I know the basics.
So let me jump in.
Yes.
Because we are in a very honestly dangerous category of conversation. We're talking about our health, and it's real deep, the deception that we don't even realize or understand. And I'm gonna rant a little bit because I want to talk about growing up. If y'all don't mind, I want to talk Bible a little bit. Because reading the Bible, reading the Old Testament, especially if you know the Bible, when they was going through the forest and they had all them laws given about what you can't do, what you're not supposed to do, what you can't do. Growing up as a child, even as an adult, you don't really get to hear the importance of why that is in the Bible. Why was it so important for God to say, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that? Like CJ was hitting on pork, ham, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So many different things. And whether growing up, you're like, oh, that was back then. That's thousands and thousands of years ago. Of course you couldn't eat no pig back then. Of course you couldn't do that back then. You can do it now, it's fine. And my next point is every single black person, not black person, we gotta include minorities. In America, period, you have to read the book called Medical Apartheid. And if you pay attention, a lot of statues are coming down about these doctors and these physicians, these famous people who set up
modern day science, who set up the gynecology, all these things that we think are amazing, they are beneficial. There's pros and cons to everything. And I feel like we are all hitting on the right point, but we really have to realize what's going on. And we can talk about checkups and routine things that we're supposed to do. That's what we're talking about, our yearly checkups. I agree with CJ. CJ is absolutely right. Because the same way, if you believe in God was with the Bible, with the people of then, it's the same exact way. I was just reading, I was watching this news story on how America, I mean, we can talk about our high fructose corn syrup. Y'all do know that's in everything, right? Literally everything, which means you literally shouldn't be eating anything. High fructose corn syrup. In the 80s, we decided to stop using natural ingredients, America, because it was cheaper. So we're going to take all this stuff and put this in everything. All of our products have it now, and we eat that and we consume that, and all that stuff going in our body. There was this I mean, I don't have to get about it. We know chitlins, chicken wings, all that stuff is the worst part of the animals that was given to us. That's the stuff we've been born and raised. So all that stuff is put into our food. So unfortunately, y'all, I'm with
Don't
CJ.
forget ramen noodles.
Oh, that is
So I feel like Nicole, you are right. We need to get our yearly checkups, especially if you know you have health conditions. But if you are living healthy, if you're eating healthy, like clearly CJ
you can be
is.
living healthy and eating healthy and still come down.
I don't think you should get yearly checkups.
So tell me, who do you know that was living healthy and doing it? Tell me, give me an example.
Guys, I want to so bad, but they're family. That's why I won't put their name out. She did. No, she did, and I'm not putting her name out like that. God rest her soul. She did.
You're right.
But
okay,
yeah, so you name you can name me one person, but I bet you can name me 1,000 people who don't right. You got some kind of disease. Come on, bro. You say one person. You 34 years old, you can name one person. Now you can name me plenty of people who you know who messed up, who eat crazy. Come on,
all I'm saying is
bro.
we just have
to.
Here's the thing. If you want to get a checkup, please get a checkup. If you don't, you do it how you want to do it. It's your body. But like my cousin said today, you get one. So whatever decision you make with your one body you get, whether you get checkups or not, you get one. All I'm saying, make the best you can with the one you got.
If you feel like you need to go get a checkup, CJ is not discouraging you from going to see no doctor if that's what you choose to do. But if you do,
and I'm trying to tell you guys, from the moment
was gonna be real good.
We have brought 1600s as test procedures and test dummies. They're using us. That's our caution. That's truly our caution.
Everything natural from the ground and still come sick. The simple fact is, it does not take anything to just go to a doctor and have them draw your blood and give you your record.
Who do you know that only eats natural from the ground?
Point blank, period.
Who did you know that?
Malik, what you got? What you think, Malik? What you think?
I'm on both sides. I'm not as
Malik, you got to jump in because you got to talk over CJ at times. You just got to jump
in.
It's
kind of hard to because like the Zoom like picks up the loudest person, and it'll like talk over him. That's why Ron has this mic. So every time he talks, it's like it's coming out. The mic is perfect. But CJ, I agree with you. I'm like, I mean, if you don't want to get a checkup, I mean, by all means, that's on you. But Nicole, I also agree with you because it's like, you never know what your body's doing. You're paying for health insurance anyway. Why not go get a checkup? Right. I will say, I'm the type, I haven't been to get I mean, I get checkups here and there, but not yearly like I should. And I'm getting older and it's to the point where I need to start getting control of my body. But to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Nicole, earlier about your tooth situation, I had a heart murmur too when I was a kid. And I remember being there, they were about to do surgery to my mouth or something like that. And they were like, did you take your medicine? And I thought they were joking. Like, as a kid, you're like, who takes medicine? Like what the heck is medicine? Like, and it turned out he was being for real. He was like, it's a certain type of medicine that you have to take for your heart because things can go south while we're doing the surgery. And I will say my mom has always been on top of my health and stuff like that. But I mean, if you don't want to go to the hospital and get a checkup, that's on you. But I'm
happy you acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. CJ is being stubborn and bullheaded. But the simple fact is,
I can say the same for you.
What?
I can say the same for you.
I had to mute myself because y'all hilarious.
Honestly, if I got to give my 2 cents, if we're going to address the culture and we're going to address the Black people, I feel like we need to understand that we need to progressively get more towards being able to be self-sustainable. We cannot depend on the government.
I agree with that.
We cannot depend on America. We have to depend on ourselves.
I agree.
No. And we have to get more.
There's nothing wrong with it.
People used to live to be 500
save
years
your
old.
life.
$1,000 a year? Are you crazy?
It can save your life. It
People
only
used to live to be
takes
500 years
35 to
old.
45 minutes. How
Every
hard is it?
In a sense, I'm the same way as CJ because I'm not going nowhere near a hospital unless my limbs are not working.
Right, man. Come on, man.
Coming out my chest.
Yeah.
The thing is, Nicole, I understand what you're saying though. We can't.
And
if we want to sustain Black lives, you can't be scared to go to the doctor and get a quick check. And if you feel like he's telling you some BS, then go to another doctor. It's
A
so
Black doctor, even.
stuff like that. You can check around. Like who do you guys go to? You know, what doctor in this area?
People I trust. I sure do.
Right. Like, who do you trust in this area? He's not gonna give me some BS just for me to
The
buy.
funny thing is that y'all think there's these many doctors that y'all can trust. It's crazy. It's flabbergasting. Y'all haven't been in too many hospitals.
You know how many Black guys giving birth to
Trust me. And
like that, but if you don't get
in the military, we have.
Well, dude, you signed on the military.
Yeah, you're right, Ron, on that one. I can't lie on that one, Ron.
What?
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But
Been a drill for everything, and
go get your checkup, bro.
But mine's different though. See, civilian, like you know, I can go. But
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Your wife said get you.
Yeah, because she know I was always hard hit for getting checkups. She knows that. But like I told the dentist office woke me up to like I was like, oh my gosh, that's connected to this, and this. Like I gotta check that out. And plus, as we all know, let's all stop front. We all Black. We know where we come from, the motherland. There is always a doctor.
Yeah.
Always doctors.
Yeah.
Always.
CJ.
Always.
You want going to
That's what they do. We all know that's where we come from. There were so many doctors. So let's just stop playing like we don't want to go see no doctor. When each village has a doctor for a reason.
So before everybody cut me off, especially Miss Sunshine, we have to continue to get more self-sustainable. Y'all remember when I was talking about that before I got to finish?
You was right.
Crazy, right?
You was right.
We have to get more self-sustainable. And secondly, we have to progress to being more natural. Let me give an example. We got a lot of Black companies and Black products. You can get a different product and you get a Black product. You look at the differences. When you look at the product that's Black, it's like a whole bunch of less stuff. It's not a lot of things going there. We do all these things to our hair. We get all that special Black stuff for our hair. It's not complicated. It don't got that other stuff in there because we can't take it. Guess what? It's the same way with food. It's the same way with medicine. And what CJ was talking about with Dr. Sebi, Nicole, if you took the time to listen to him, the natural weakness and disease of everything in the body, the natural disease of everything in the body.
I know the
natural disease that creates every disease in the body is mucus.
That's true, Ron. Ron's right about the mucus. Ron is right about the mucus.
You have to realize everything that builds up mucus in the body.
Listen
Ron is right.
The American Indians have doctors that use healing by using the earth. The earth,
natural.
That's natural.
Right. They're not going to the doctor every year for a checkup.
I did not say about not doing your research on natural herbs and spices. I simply said, go to the damn doctor, get a checkup every year. What is wrong with y'all men? Why
Sunshine did not show up. This is Nicole
that is the
from the
problem. I ain't
Boogie
gonna
Down
lie.
Bronx.
No lie, Nicole, just realize the argument. We are men, we are stubborn. Nicole ain't lying. She ain't lying.
Oh, she's factual. That's true.
She not lying. We are stubborn. I ain't even gonna act like we ain't.
That's why I say you right. We all right. We all right, Nicole.
Nicole ain't lying.
Hey,
There's a
Black
Pamela
America,
Hamilton.
Black America, the culture. We talking self-sustainability and becoming more natural. If you have not started your own way of developing your own source of food, a source of, start a potato tree out back. You can start in your closet. Start some way for you to provide for yourself.
There are
Naturally and medically. There's oils, there's herbs you can rub on your body and help you.
Yeah.
We got it. Next topic. We got it. Next topic. Let's go.
Stop it.
Let's go. Next topic. We got it.
Man, get out your damn pride. Oh my God. Black
Calified men. You know what's
Why are
gonna
you
happen.
so angry?
Don't you go there, Cam. Don't you
This
go
is Dave
there.
Chappelle. This is the real world. This is what happens when you get with 5 other guys on the panel with 1 woman, and we stop acting all polite and start getting real. Yeah, mad real.
Sunshine is not here. Nikki is out.
Oils you can rub on your body.
DJ, all right.
Black.
Natural creams.
Entrepreneurship. What are we missing?
Once a decade.
Oh.
Take it away, Cam. I know you got.
I know Cam. I want this for Cam.
I gotta hear it. I gotta hear me something.
This is it.
Well, what's the question?
I said Black entrepreneurship. What are we missing?
Talk to us, brother. Because we can't, it's something like for some reason, Black people can't support Black business. What are we missing?
I can't answer why they don't support, but so short context. So this is my 3rd year of business. And one of the things that I did when I first started, because I'm a very personable type person. I like to be in front of people, shake hands, how you doing? Fill people out. And the first thing is there's not a lot of diversity in entrepreneurship. My personal belief is because we as a whole are so happy that we can be C-level, CFO, CEO, and that's guaranteed. When our grandparents, for example, had to work minimum wage, they couldn't move up because of Jim Crow. So I think part of it is we're comfortable just being able to get the 6-figure job. Versus in terms of entrepreneurship, is it rough when you start? I'm the first one to tell you it's rough. It was a lot of praying. It was a lot of, God, you really said what now? But now going into year 3, where I've had some mentorship, I've gotten placed around other people, I've grown, I've made sure to try to be open and get different viewpoints. It's not enough of us in the space, 1. 2, a lot of us don't know basic financial literacy. And I'm not talking about something happened, so therefore you had to, borrow some money. I'm not talking about that. There are people I deal with, especially me being in accounting, and Usher knows about this. There are people who don't understand what their business entity is. There were people I helped that they didn't know that they were a partnership. They thought they were LLCs. They didn't know that they were getting taxed as partnerships, or they didn't know what the benefit of being an S Corp is, or why they should do these different things. So I think we have to educate ourselves better from a young age on, hey, do you know that you can take said skill, and all of us come out with skills. Take that and monetize it. I read something somewhere where there was a parent who said they make all their kids create a business. And I'm not talking about like 18, I'm talking about like 13, 14, because you learn so much. My little cousin down on the south side of Atlanta, he's selling jewelry. And I made sure I took like 3 or 4 hours. I was trying to put him on game, because from that age, I think he just started 10th grade. That's when you need to learn about, okay, what is branding, marketing, telling a story. Hey, you got a partner. What does your partnership agreement looks like? Hey, you have a brand. Hey, you have a collection. Can you replicate the same process? What does it take? I know you want to pay yourself, but hey, you can't take out all the money, because guess what? If somebody needs something, you need to have money for inventory. Now at 15, of course I expected him to say, I didn't think of that. But apparently there are a lot of us, as we're getting started into this, we just don't know. And you have to find people who are on that same path, because when I was in corporate, none of this applied. All I have to do is show up. They tell me what to do. I do it, and I know every other week I'm gonna get my check. And I can be as comfortable as I want and just play that line and let me not be lazy, but I'm do my work, go home, and I'm good. I can afford whatever. And for a lot of people, that's good, especially when you really are honest and consider our generation, 35 and down, are really the first full generation where everybody's pretty much went to college. Our grandparents didn't have that. Our parents was kind of, I'd probably say like 50-50. So really, we're the generation that pretty much everybody went to college. So this is kind of what we're coming into and growing into. And I think it's awesome. But we just have to get more people in that space. We have to show that, hey, you know, I have a plan. You want to go work for that accounting firm? Work for them for 3 or 4 years. Learn every single last one of their processes. And guess what? Now you go do the same thing. And guess what? You can make your own schedule. Guess what? You don't have to work 12 and 14-hour days like you did for them. If you can be more efficient, if you can change how you define what success is, which for me, success isn't I need to make 500K in 3 years or I need to stop. Success is, okay, can I pay all my bills? Can my girls have what they need? When my wife needs something, can she get it? If so, I'm successful. I'm doing what I enjoy. I look forward to Mondays. I'm not like, oh crap, here. No, I enjoy what I do. I help people, and it's what I chose to do. And all I did was leverage. That's all this is, leveraging me working at a CPA firm, working at the #1 software reseller, the #1 credit card processor in the world. I had a department of 7 or 8 people under me and was responsible for the whole Canada region. But it's not, that's all I am. I took all of that and hey, after some praying and some life situations, I was forced now. But I took all that experience and I'm taking those same processes and patterns and all of that. And now I'm just doing the same thing. But it's like, we don't get to that part. We gotta just stay on this job for whatever reason. And I get it, it's guaranteed, it's safe, it's secure. But the pandemic has already shown you it ain't that secure. The people at the top secure because they own it. When you the owner, hey, I can cut these people out. We ain't really need them anywhere. We were gonna automate. Versus when you and the owner, I'm the owner. I can work when I want. I can work late at night, early in the morning, throughout the day. If I want to homeschool, which is a whole different subject, do you realize I mentor teenagers? I have freshmen, as in they're 13 going on 14, telling me that they can code. They're doing 3D models. They're editing videos. Why? Because their parents got them homeschooled because their parents are business owners. And that's where we have to start trying to move our kids so that they can have the best. I want my kids to be at 13 or 14 doing stuff like that too. Amen. So that way they have a way easier shot getting into the Yale's, Harvard's, Howard's, FAMU's, Georgia Tech's, Clemson's, Miami because at a young age, we already invested in them. And so it's a whole lot about this, but we'll start there.
I did an episode with my children showing what and how to invest in your kids and things like that. Oh yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that 100%. Investing and teaching them so that way there's a foundation already built. We're building that foundation when they're young. So when they get 25, they'll have stocks, bonds, all of that to flip.
And that's on the low end. I think the super simple answer is exposure, right? We know what media exposes us to, which is, in our case, entertainment and sports, which is great. I love it. All of us have family members who can sing or play or was high school or college, whatever. Great. But in my particular case, my best friend's mom and dad were both accountants. One works for TNT to this day. The other one owns his own tax company. He didn't at that time. Now he does. Because I saw them and because I saw the house that they lived in, I said, what y'all do? Oh, we're accountants. That's math, ain't it? Yeah, I'm good at math. I can live like this. If you work hard, you sure can. So now I'm checking into, well, what is an accountant? What do they do? But if I was never exposed to that, I was never exposed to better. who knows what I'd be trying to do. I think I would probably try to be a teacher. Shout out to all the teachers right now. But we can all affect the world in so many different ways, but we just have to be exposed to as much stuff as possible. And then we can have more Black people in tech, creating video games and coding and software and all kinds of stuff. We don't just have to be in sports or entertainment. And if you're gonna be in entertainment or sports, be the agent, be the booking agent, be the manager. Learn that behind the scenes. If y'all saw the Master P documentary on BET, that's all he did. He started rapping because he was trying to figure out the business. Once he figured out the business, he's still making money to this day. Because why? He was like, I need to learn the business side of this. He went back to school. I had his own office. He put everything in office. I mean, we have to get to that point. How can I go above and beyond what is just the norm or the status quo? Yeah, we pretty much out the hood, most of us, right? We kind of in the burbs, most of us. Okay, take it to that next level.
All right, panel. Thank you, Cam.
Cameron, you killed that, bro.
Right now.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah,
I'm talking to Cam. Cam, tell them where you're at.
We're in Atlanta. We're down here in Atlanta.
Do you have
on the north side of the city? Huh?
Do you have a website?
Yes, you can go to Kinley Accounting, KYNLI accounting.com. We have all our information on there. We're very active on social media, on LinkedIn. We try to give a lot of free accounting and tax advice anyway. So you can even learn some of the basics just from going on our YouTube and just looking at, hey, what are some business expenses I could do? Which as owners, by the way, you guys should be taking advantage of. Mm-hmm. But, we have all kind of different things that we can use and that we try to use to help people. So definitely check that out. There's plenty of free information on there for everybody.
And just so everybody knows, I have already booked Cam to come back on to the Sunshine Show in October. So he'll be back, Ash. He'll be back.
Right.
Yes, because that's the type of parent I am and my mother was. She took us outside of the United States, see different cultures, hear different music, see what we were into, and then sharpened our skills in that to excel. So that's what I do with the little kids. I teach them, don't think that you're in the hood. Let's think outside the box. I live in the suburbs, but I go back to the hood to give back. Yeah. I'm not from Buffalo, but I go to the hood to teach them. So they know somebody is out there caring and want them to excel more in life, not just stay where you're at. That's not, and anybody that I'm in my circle, you got to think higher and higher. I can't be with somebody that just wants to stay here. Nah, boo, me and you ain't gonna mix.
And before we switch, y'all gonna laugh at this, but I gotta talk about it because I keep getting asked about this susu thing. Y'all done heard about these susus?
No.
You done heard about them, CJ? You ain't heard about them?
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
What's the susus? Break it down. What's the susu?
Well, I think traditionally it's where people pull money together and then everybody at a month.
Oh, you mean the pyramid?
Oh,
the pyramid?
Black was able to thrive like it was when the community.
Yeah, see stuff like that. This, as your accountant here, this is the type of stuff that I laugh at because it's a great idea, but just tweak the concept. Make sure you do your research always, but take the concept. The concept is like it will be 6 of us. We all put in $100 every month, and then one of us gets it, right? There's no rate of return there. It's literally you're gonna put in 600 and you're gonna get 600 back. Yeah. Why not instead, if we were all cool, all grew up with each other, let's all put that same 100 in, let the pot grow. Then when, hey, somebody wants to start a podcast and they need startup money, or somebody's little cousin need money because they're going to start their t-shirt business, then they just make the withdrawal. You make them write up a proposal and present it. Hey, I need $500 for these things, and this is my expected return. And now you're starting to teach people, hey, this is how it works. You're not buying a loan because it's from our family, friends, or our family. These are the type of things that we can start doing at a young age, or even as adults. to start supporting each other, helping each other. And it's not alone. It's not like you got to pay it back. We just putting this money over here because we have disposable income, because now we either own our own business or are at these C-level positions and have it. And that's how we can start pouring back into the next generation.
Amen.
So do your research.
Love it. Wow.
Amen.
I love it.
All right, panel. Are we ready for an election, or does our vote not matter? Malik?
I'm not really big into politics, I'll be honest, but I feel like what you mentioned earlier, as far as if you're not gonna vote, then sit back and shut the hell up, you know? So, and I think CJ even mentioned, who are we gonna vote for? I think it's best that we do our research and see who's the best candidate to get who's in office now out of there, and find something that, because we have to choose someone. And so I think just as a community, we need to choose the best person, and we all need to go vote. We can't sit here and watch the other person vote or promote. You know, a lot of people always retweet, share about voting, but when it comes time to vote, they're not voting. So we just need to vote, do our research and vote.
Ush?
I'm going last.
Okay, Ron?
How you gonna go? The host told you to go, man. Come on now, go. Us, come on. Come on, host. Told you we're gonna try to take over. Come on, host.
He sure did. Ron?
CJ,
I think he wants to go last because he probably has a lot to say.
I
So-
do. I always do.
That's why I'm gonna go quick.
But you're not gonna go last because I'm the host, Ush.
We understand that, Nicole. You always
Nicole.
gonna get the last word.
Nicole, I love you, but I get Shamark up in there. You keep on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Shamar. I unfortunately think the election that's coming up is irrelevant and is a joke, and we all know that no matter which party we're going to go to is going to corrupt us. Us is going to tell you we need to keep it to local and state. Of course, that's what we need to focus on. Get out in there and make sure y'all do y'all voting. But at the end of the day, we didn't get to talk about a lot of solutions, but we as a people need to come together and hit them in the pockets. And that's where our change is going to come. That's all I got to say. Another blackout day.
Okay, Cam?
I think the country's fed up, so I do think we're ready to vote, but I do also lean towards kind of what they both said. I think that the state and local, the people, you know, whatever that city you live in, if you live in the city of Atlanta, you need to be voting for your sheriff, your district attorney, all of those positions, because if your family member gets in trouble, that's who they're going to have to deal with. So I think the state and local level are important. And then, of course, those are the people who start rolling up. In terms of the presidency, you know, I can't for the life of me understand how we 9 times out of 10 end up with very bad choices for candidates. I know Obama wasn't perfect. I know he didn't come and save the whole Black world, but at the least, most of us can be like, okay, this is a good guy. This is a good person. I could at least respect that fact. Is he going to do every single thing that he promises? None of them do. But hey, I can at least respect the fact that he appears, has his facts in order and things like that. So do your homework. No, there's not a perfect candidate. No, nobody's going to have a perfect record. We all know that. I would say don't pick based on political parties. Literally, what is this person? What is their platform? And what are they saying they're going to do about the issues that matter most to you? For me, that's criminal justice reform, obviously. That's education, obviously. And those are the 2 huge things for me. And I'm not saying I don't care about, you know, solar energy, and that's cool. Education, because that affects our communities, and criminal justice reform. I need to know, what are you saying? Because there are so many gaps that we have yet to overcome. I need to see it. And you need to just be a good person, because you can say the right stuff, but if you're a trash person,
And everything you said, I said last week, because I'm
Yeah,
so
if you
so
a
hard to
trash
find
person,
somebody
you
with
can't
morals.
represent me no way. So there's that.
Is it
But
that hard to find somebody with morals?
I know
yeah,
it's hard.
there's so many geniuses and smart people in this country. I'm just like, how did we end up here? We have a ton of brilliant people.
This. Seriously, how do we end up with this? I'm disgusted by this election this year. I'm just so disgusted when that 46-1 was entered, and I'm just so disgusted. I'm disgusted about how America is. I'm just disgusted all around. And I said the same thing. The person I wanted to see run was Timothy Kennedy. He's a senator here. And when I say we walk in the trenches together, he's broken bread with us, our church and everything. He's there. He's on the scene during the hurricanes, during the virus. He was here giving out foods, talking and trying to make things better. We break bread with Timothy Kennedy. I wanted to see him run. He ran to be on the ballot with Biden, but evidently he didn't get all the votes he should have. I rather see him in the White House.
And here's my other point real quick too. Whoever you end up picking, hold them accountable.
Amen.
You know, shout out to Kamala, right? We get it. She's a Black woman, and all of us love our Black women. But at that same time, if she makes it in, right, I'm going to hold you to the same level of accountability. I'm not saying that you're the Black Messiah, savior, and everything you do is supposed to be geared towards uplifting a Black person because you're the VP of the whole country. But if you say you're going to do whatever about criminal justice reform or whatever about education, we as a whole United States need to make sure that whoever you vote, state, local, or at the national level, you hold them accountable. And if not, vote they butt up out of there and you try again.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Nobody's holding 46-1 accountable for anything. And I will never say he's my president because there's no way in the world that would ever.
Well, it's more to it than just him, too. I mean, we got issues.
I know, it's the whole thing.
And House, yeah.
All of them gotta go. The simple fact is, they wanted to they couldn't take Obama no more, African-American male that was in office 2 times around, and now they had to get 46-1 up in there. And look at the hell that one has done. At least Obama kept the peace. No, he wasn't correct on everything. I will admit that because I didn't like some of the things that he approved. I did not.
Right.
And nobody held anybody accountable. They're definitely not holding this one accountable because he's still. Anywho. Okay. So, Malik, what about you? What do you say?
We're back around. I thought Ernest was going to speak. I've said my piece.
You said, you sure?
I've said.
Go ahead, Ernst.
So, everybody is absolutely correct. Ron was absolutely correct in what I was going to say. I'm going to add a little bit more to that, but Ron knows me best. We all complain about Biden and Trump and office and senators and representatives and Republicans and Democrats. But if you're not going to vote local and put on the local ticket you want to see, you'll never see your voice national. Those people in those offices do not speak for us. They don't live where we live. They don't go through the same economics that we do. They don't wake up in the shoes that we do and go to sleep in the pajamas that we do. Therefore, the point is, if you do not take the time to get to become, I like to call it candidate literacy, and know the candidates, what they stand for and where they're going, and you're just casting something just to cast it, you're wasting your time. However, at the same time, you know who Fannie Lou Hamer is, right? Everybody know who Fannie Lou Hamer is? Fannie Lou Hamer, I preach about her. That's like my auntie. Fannie Lou Hamer, if you look at her life story and what she dealt with and how she made it to where she made it, how she simply just wanted to run as just a Democratic representative, and how they took her in that jail and beat her so bad and severely, all because she put her name on the ballot. Knowing that our ancestors went through so much just to create an opportunity and space for us to vote is critical. However, they didn't create a space for us to vote every 4 years. They create a space for us to vote every time the political ballots are open everywhere. And they create a space that you and I, if we don't like what we see, can run for alderman, mayor, in other local representative places. The fact that we waste time continuously talking about the person in that White House and we don't take the time to even think. A lot of us don't even know who our own mayor is in our own town, let alone city. I talk to people all the time. You know who the mayor is here? I've had these conversations with people right here where I am. That's scary. And why that's scary is because we only want to seem to care when social media cares about who's in the White House, but we don't care about the people that make the policies, like Cameron says, that affects us right here. Education that affects us right here. Even whoever your new person in the police chief is. A lot of people don't even know who that is and how he even got in the position he got in. Vote local. Their name can be on the candidacy for national. When you get those people in, you can get rid of those people that are in there that do not need to be there. And that's when you'll see the reform, the justice, and all those things you want to see on a national level. But you got to stop being lazy and read the names on the ballot. You even have the obligation now. You can take your cell phone to these voting places. And if you don't know a name, look it up. Do not just check mark something, people. Yeah. Stop check marking stuff and just wasting time just filling out a quick ballot and going, and then stop making these conspiracy theories about voting. There are none. Stop. I hate when I hear that, especially from my people, about all these conspiracy theories. Stop being lazy. We have to take this country in our own hands and make the changes that we want to see, and we cannot depend on someone else to make it for us. Stop being lazy when it comes to voting literacy. Research, read, examine, compare, and make the best choice, but do not be lazy. Voting does matter. And I'm tired of other people saying that it doesn't, because it does. Our people would not have went through what they went through on the Edmund Potter's Bridge if voting didn't matter. How dare I sit in my seat of I don't have to for those people that walked their shoes over that bridge and got beat with billy clubs and trampled by horses and water hose and all kind of racist things called out at them. That is my passion, is voting. Why? Because I know it can change anything.
Well, and I think a lot of people say the voting doesn't matter because I think it's like you said, they're ignorant to the state and local part, and all they're focusing on is the every 4 years. Correct. So yeah, at that point in time, you ain't did the work necessary to get the right people in there. So I can see how you arrive there, and you should still vote for who the president is. But I think even it seems like what we always keep coming back to in this whole conversation is some type of education that we're lacking that's causing certain issues, whether it's financial, whether it's about training or laws, and in this case about voting.
And it's inexcusable education, because I brought up Fannie Lou Hamer for a reason. And there were others like her that were not as educated, because Fannie Lou Hamer didn't lead the plantation until 1962. But she was already running, 1954, I think it was. She was already running for something in 1962. She was 44 when she left. Non-education did not stop her. She chose to try to learn what she can by reading what she wanted to read, to so bad to where she ran. They told her, you need a $500 electronic check to put your name on this panel. And she got one. Then they told her, you need a campaign manager. And if you don't have one by 4:30, we're going to close it down. The guy that was next to her said, well, put your name down as a campaign manager. He was like, Fannie, I don't know about being a campaign manager. He said, I don't know nothing about being a Democratic representative either. But we're going to find out today. Yep. She didn't let non-education stop her. And if they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have Google or all those electronics back then, and they learned what they could with the books that they could read, with the words that they did know how to read, then we have no excuse with technology in our hands to simply type in the definition of something we do not understand and comprehend it, so that we can put the people in the places that we need them, that will speak up for us. Stop waiting for Joe Biden and Trump to speak up for us. Come on. If you want to speak up for you, look around and who's in the office right down the street from you. That's where your voice matters. And it's called City Hall. Make a trip, make a field trip to City Hall, and you'll find out more than you need to know.
Greatly spoken as always, CEO. Nicole, before you wrap it up and get us off of here, I'm sorry we've been on here for 2 hours. To our guests, we end up going a long time, but we got some very upset and angry loyals in our chat. Like, do y'all not see comments? Y'all not to read? Are y'all not here? What's going on? So Nicole, as you get ready to end us out.
Oh, Malik, Hannah said, hey, if you didn't see her, she said, hey, Like
I'm doing everything.
My bad, y'all.
Okay, so let's look at the comment. Make them earn our vote. Hold them accountable. Light them up, Ush.
Thank
drink
y'all
here,
for coming in.
Thank
Big
you,
shout
guys.
out to Ash JP, of
Yes.
course.
What comments? I'm not.
There's a lot of questions. Julie asked a great question about the police versus military.
Okay, read it.
I don't think we got time for no questions. I'm just saying we sorry.
Okay.
Ron's sorry. I ain't sorry.
Oh, y'all see who has the compassion on the speakeasy.
It's always Ron. It ain't me. I ain't whatever.
So
Thank y'all.
my final say is vote. It counts. Our ancestors fought, died, bloodshed to make sure we voted. Do not let it go void. Voting is necessary. Holding them in office accountable is necessary. Do you know your mayor? Yes, I do. Mayor Brown. I can't wait for him to get up out. I don't like him. I can't stand him because he is African American and he has not done what he should have done. He talked all that jazz. Talk is cheap. With me, actions speak louder than words. And that's in everything. In my personal life, in my business life. If your talk don't match up with your actions, then boo boo, I cut you off real quick, fast, in a hurry. Y'all don't know Malik and Cam, but you probably found out tonight. I will cut you off. Knowledge is power. Don't be throwing nothing. The simple fact is, do your own research. Don't listen to no he said, she said. Nah, man, shut that down. You go investigate. You look at the numbers. You look at what they're saying and you talk to them. Where they are, show up. Ask them questions. And then you'll really know their character. If they try to run around the question or don't answer the question, then you know that's not the cup of tea we want in office. The simple fact is, enough is enough. We addressed so many issues tonight, and there's still more to come. The change starts with us. The change is now. Be that voice. We are supposed to be unified. No more division in the African American communities. No more division, period. My brothers and sisters, it's time to wake up. My brothers and sisters, the time is now.
Real quick, Nicole, before you roll out, Cameron asked a real bad question, and I'll put it out there to the people. He said, what do you say to people who say Trump has done more for Black people than any other president?
I want to smack them.
Everybody else, 30 seconds. What do you say? Smack them?
What? He actually has, man. There's Black people that will come out. Whoa,
I'm saying,
like there's
people
this
ask
girl
this,
that
though.
I forget her name. She's a senator in Georgia.
You didn't watch Super Bowl when that lady was saying
that he came and got her out of jail? Trump's getting people out of jail.
She cried on that Super Bowl commercial.
Nothing but brought division. He didn't help the Black community.
They're gonna say, but he funded HBCUs.
But
and the Black unemployment rate, it went down.
So, Kimberly said, "Boy, stop." I know that's right.
That's a good question. Malik, what do you say? What do you say to somebody that say he's done so much to Black people?
I smack him.
What you say, Kim? Malik?
30 seconds. You're on the hot spot. Listen, I'll just turn the other cheek. You know, if it's something you don't want to hear, you just walk away from it. You go ahead and do your own thing. Just leave it.
Ron?
Everybody's got their own opinion.
Yeah,
This is literally my favorite conversation because it's one of the most important conversations we need to have is understanding an ally. Sometimes people do things just to help you for advantages, playing chess, or just to help you. But an ally is somebody that stands with you, somebody that's out there on the front lines for, say, protesting or something like that. We can go through all the rich and famous people throughout the lineage of America who has sided with Black people and went on the other side. And a lot of people that sided, I ain't gonna say any names, but I do be going, huh? Trump,
You can't
an
buy
ally,
bullshit.
but he has done a lot for Black people because he's the POTUS, and the POTUS has to be the president of all people.
Can I smack you now?
Lord, take us off live. There's gonna be a lot of smacking going around here, and I don't want to get hit.
He caused so much division.
Nicole,
So what has he done?
Nicole, don't fall into the trap. Nicole, you fall into his trap.
That is stupid.
Ron
That
trapped
is
you.
stupid.
Don't you do
Bro,
it.
I can't help it if there's thousands and thousands of videos of people that come out and talking about testimonies about how Trump came and got him out the prison system, helped and saved and blah, 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 blah. He does help people.
And he helped change criminal justice reform.
Malik, help us out, bro.
And he also brought in a bunch of racist KKK members to the Supreme Court, brought in 60 new Supreme Court lawyers. So
Cameron, why you did this? I blame you.
we gotta get off. Good night. Send us out of here, Nicole.
I'm like, Cameron, I'm about to.
With the
Because I keep going.
that has gone to the end of this segment. I do thank you from DaSpeakeasy for tuning in. Again, remember, tomorrow we have a special guest. It's poetry night with Ron and Nicole Sunshine.
Go get your checkups.
What?
Go
Just
get your
hit him with the
checkups.
DJ.
Let's go.
And I'm not boo. Simple fact is, thank you for tuning in. See us tomorrow and then next week. Mwah, 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 mwah.